We've now been living aboard our blue water cruising sailboat for almost 2 months. We've gone from being terrified of pulling up our anchor, running aground a couple of times when we did, and needing someone to dock our boat for us, to confidently navigating our starting channel near Dunedin, Florida. We hoist the anchor with ease, study our charts diligently, and we've built the knowledge base that we need to get ourselves around safely. We're now eager to test ourselves against the unpredictability of the ocean.
Yeah. I feel like it'll be a little stressful too because it won't be so calm. The ocean.
Yeah, I find that fun, I guess. But yeah. Every so often we need to fill up on water and empty out our holding tanks, and these have become our practice times. Maggie flawlessly U-turns the boat to line us up at the municipal marina and pump out. Of course, we're still learning, so we stopped way too short this time, but it was easy enough to heave the boat in. It's sailing, after all, and everyone needs a helping hand now and then. Speaking of helping hands, it was time for part 2 of our bartered for sailing lesson with Captain John.
Take the cover off.
Captain John is back on board, and this time we're raising our boat's mainsail for the first time ever. We've been practicing on our own with the Genoa since our last lesson, but we're eager to see how the main works.
Back at our stations. I'm holding down this, aiming it down, holding up the anchor.
John loves sailing at night, so here we are, cruising the Gulf Coast along Clearwater Beach with both sails up for the first time. Unfortunately, Maggie still gets a bit seasick when we go out onto the ocean, so the lesson and filming gets cut short. Nonetheless, we stayed out sailing in the Gulf until 2 in the morning. So, the next day, we take it easy. Some coffee, light snacks, and rest. We're out of water though, so we've got to make a pit stop at the nearby marina. After a smooth docking and departure, we see Captain John on his dinghy as we're anchoring, and we wave our last goodbye. Finally back to the comfort of our anchorage, Maggie is feeling better and finishes the day off with some fishing. With part 2 of our sailing lesson complete, we're ready to begin our journey to New England. First step, leave the comforting familiarity of our starting anchorage, heading south.
Right, we got our sheets ready to go. We changed the bumpers to the other side. And now we're going with our game plan and I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I'll pull up anchor. You'll motor us into the channel, heading south. We'll turn position, we'll pull out the Genoa. The wind's coming from that side, or from over there. Port? Or our port side? Or starboard side when we loaded.
Okay.
But I'll do the sails. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. And then we'll head up to the beach. I'm in the beach to make our big U-turn under the bridge. And
yeah, we'll probably put the sail in, I guess, somewhere near the bridge. You can do, yeah. We'll just take turns, I guess, going down the channel, but you can make the big U-turn and pull us in.
okay.
But yeah, the sail will be in. We'll just be motoring at that point.
Cool. Okay, then we'll get water, take out our trash, spray us down a little, I think, today. And be on our way to the island.
Yep. Yeah, we'll go over the game plan again.
Yeah, when we leave. Yep. Eek! I love it. Okay. Well, let's do it. I'm ready. Okay. Bye.
With our game plan in place, we head down the channel. One more stop to top off our water tanks, then we're headed to a midway point next to an island. We take advantage of the wind, unfurling the Genoa.
We have finished leg 1. Now we're just getting a little wetter. And we'll be on to leg 2. Our newest destination.
We're on our way to Clearwater Beach with a quick overnight stop at a nearby island. We knew rough weather was on the way, but we learned that day that it doesn't always like to follow the schedule.
Okay, we're taking our first cruise in the rain. Left these out. We should have probably brought them in. On the plants, probably. And rain going. Eek.
National Weather Service Tampa Bay, Berkeley, Florida has issued hazardous weather outlook for the west coast of Florida. Today and tonight, thunderstorms are expected. Some storms may be strong to severe. Then the storm that develop will be capable of producing strong gusty winds, locally heavy rain, frequent deadly lightning strikes, and isolated tornadoes. High surf will produce rip currents along beach areas. Wind speeds of 15 to 20 knots will increase hazardous boating conditions for all small craft operators. Waterspouts can quickly form, decapsize boats, damage vessels, and create suddenly higher waves. Make sure all on board are in a secure location and wear life jackets. Expect wind gusts in excess of 34 knots, suddenly higher waves, frequent lightning, and heavy downpour. This is U.S. Coast Guard Center, St. Petersburg, Florida, out.
It was definitely a little scary, and by far the roughest weather we had motored in yet, but we made it to our new anchorage before the worst of it, and by the time the clouds cleared for sunset, we were in love with our new spot for our sailing home. The evening cool in the wake of the storms, we baked homemade pizzas and tried out our oven for the very first time. It worked beautifully.
We've been out of Dunedin and slowly heading toward Massachusetts. I guess Miami's our first stop. And the first thing we learned how to do is anchor. So we couldn't get this close when we first started anchoring to another boat anyway. You know, it was so scary. Or the land. We were like, whoa, this is terrifying. Now we've gotten it down so well. We came in here, it was really windy, and we still managed to anchor and not be too scared about it. This is amazing. I'm so proud of us.
Pimo still longed for shore, but fortunately for him, Clearwater Beach had easy access day docks, and we had a few things to take care of on land before we were ready to leave for real.
I wonder if these are guard goats. Hi, goaty goat goat. Hi. Are you a friendly little goat? Little goat. Oh, you didn't know about Pima? You're making you a little nervous, huh?
One thing that we sorely needed was more anchor chain. We had really strong ground tackle, but the chain was too short and too thick for our windlass. Furthermore, the anchor rope, while really high quality, had a badly chafed spot that I always lost sleep over. So, at the suggestion of Captain John, we headed to Don's Marine Salvage. This place was something else. Essentially a boat junkyard, but with some true hidden gems if you had the patience to sift through it all.
better on the 8mm. So,
Okay. What's the cost look like for something like this?
about $4 a foot.
High quality chain, but more than we were willing to pay, so we left. Coronavirus is also happening now. With stay-at-home orders going into effect, we were only leaving the boat for Pimo and provisions. We drove to Dunedin for one last look, only to see it a ghost town. We wear our masks and gloves, see the shelves bereft of paper products firsthand, and are relieved every time that we get to return to the sanctity of our vessel.
So we just came back from provisioning. That black trash bag's full of things that we got. We usually just throw everything in the trash bags so that we don't get it wet on our way home. And got some beers. These life jackets always stay in there. So does our pump us up. And yeah, that's what we're doing. Let's see if I can get this plastic out of the water. Yeesh. Yuck. Got it. I'll take it back home and throw it away.